Hi, I'm Rob Lynch. This is John Deckett, and we're from the Nhill Aviation Heritage Centre.
The NAHC is a small regional aviation museum set up on the Nhill Aerodrome where the RAAF had a base during the Second World War.
Well, during that 5-year period, there were over 10,000 young Australians went through there. So that was a massive population boost for the town. The pubs were full, there were dances every Saturday night. The whole town would have been humming. So the Wirraway was the main plane for training fighter pilots. There were other planes there, like the Aviators that were used for navigation and bomb aiming, but the Wirraway was the main plane for training fighter pilots.
It's the first production-built aeroplane in Australia, and they built 755 of them at Fisherman's Bend during the Second World War, and I think there's only 4 left flying, and they all just went to the smelters, and that was it after the war. Everybody was sick of wars, couldn't get rid of it fast enough, so we lost a lot of heritage by that.
I first met Borg when he brought the plane up the very first time that we had a fly-in at Nhill. And he brought up the subject that the plane was for sale, and eventually he offered it to the Nhill Aviation Heritage Centre, and I couldn't believe the opportunity that presented for the people of Nhill.
I started in 1984, and one day at work I thought, these aeroplanes were built here and they're all being scrapped, and I thought, what a shame. And I thought, I'll see if I can rebuild one, and I started to collect bits in 1984, and it took 18 years, full 18 years before it was done, but here it is behind me. So it's a pleasure to show it to you. Well, the experience of building that aeroplane, it's been great. You know, when you find bits you're looking for, you're on a high, but I had to travel most of the country with a trailer behind my car and collect bits, and I probably did that for the first 10 years. And then I realised now I can start, and it just went on bit by bit. The whole family was involved, and especially my son, you know, he was great. And he was a Qantas engineer, so he knew what he was doing. One day I had it on jacks and retracting the wheels, and he thought, oh, the old man is serious about that, he's really going to do it. So the last 3 years he helped me full time, and that was the best part of it. We did it together, and I really enjoyed it then. And of course we both flew it straight away when it was finished, so that was all good. When I started to really get serious about building it, and I started at home in my garage at my home. Now I'd be out there at night, you know, and cold, and I'd work till 10 o'clock, and you were frustrated many times because you didn't have the bits. And I'd come in, I'd go to bed, and I'd think, I wonder if I should cut the whole lot down to the tip and have peace. But I never did. I persevered. You get to a point where there's no turning back, and a lot of people said, oh, you can't do it. And the more determined I got, you know, when people said I couldn't do it, and I thought, well, I am doing it, you know, it's as simple as that. Not only did I restore all the bits and built the plane, but I did the engine as well. So there's not a bolt, a nut, a split pin or anything in that plane I haven't had in my hands. When it eventually was finished, and my good friend Ray Willerman had to test fly it, and I wasn't really sure. I thought, well, I wonder if all this stuff will fly, you know. It was a hard day for me, you know, and we rolled it out, and I rather pushed it back in again. But anyway, we rolled it out, fueled it up and started it up, and it flew perfect. So that was good. Standing out there watching it, and when it came back and landed, my wife was there. And we both had tears in our eyes. That was great. I'm 88 years old, I can't keep on doing these sort of things, so I can let it go. The first time, of course, the Wirraway went up there without me. My friend who test flew it, Ray Willerman, flew it up with my wife in the back. And I was going to come up and tie them off with my daughter, but we didn't get away because the weather got too bad in the end. When we were asked to come back to Nhill and be part of the Airshow, I was really looking forward to it. By that time I knew a lot of people up there, and we sort of almost feel we're part of the family up now. So yeah, it's all good. It would mean a lot to me to have the plane at the museum at Nhill. I got people that want to buy that plane and just fly it for air shows and do aerobatics, and I'm not going to sell it, because to do that, you know, in 10 years, you know, there would hardly be anything left. I know what happens to aeroplanes when you start to bash them around like that. So for me to see it in a museum, it'll be there forever. I'd really like that. It'd be good. There's 4 left flying in Australia. 2 went to the States a fair few years ago. The Americans are, of course, very interested in those sort of airplanes because they haven't got these sort of things, and they want to have everything. So they're not going to get this one. It's going to Nhill, that's for sure.
This is an incredible aircraft. I believe it's the best in the world. We've raised about $100,000, but we still need another $200,000. We need your help. It's a magnificent plane. Please help us purchase it.
I think the public will help, and it means a lot for the whole community in Nhill to, when they open the doors to that museum, and say, well, this is what we got, to show it off to people. I reckon that would be a really tremendous step forward for Nhill.
We ask that you give to our crowdfunding page. It would just mean the world to our little community.